We think that there will be more socialization if we do not have a cell phone between the beginning of the school day until the end of the school day, and we think that this will bring some amazing benefits in terms of human relations, in terms of discovering the human element.
Little sigh there at the end from the education minister, huh? So that's the idea, right? Education Minister Bernard Drinville announcing that starting in September 2025, so this coming fall, cell phone use by students would be prohibited in all schools in Quebec, even during break periods. So, as I said, plenty of people think this is a good idea, but not everybody does, and that includes some adults, by the way, who say, you know what, the proof that this is going to be helpful is not necessarily conclusive. But let's find out from a couple of students affected by it. Breanna, Morello, Luca de Fiore are student council presidents at the Lester B. Pearson High School. They're in Sec 5. Guys, thank you for coming on. First of all, how old are you guys?
Oh, we're both 16.
Okay. So you've obviously heard what's going on here. And my first question, I guess, is what do you think of this ban?
I really understand the desire to go back to a time when we didn't use phones in schools constantly, even during break periods. I'm just concerned with how it'll be really difficult to enforce in schools.
Okay, so let me see if I can answer that question. What if they just take your phone away from you when you get to school and lock it up until you leave?
I'm concerned about a lot of backlash coming from parents, students. They might become uncooperative, lots of angry emails from parents.
Well, okay, again, my question would be why, and obviously you're suggesting that what, because you can't reach your child while he or she is in school, and that causes the backlash?
Yes, I'd say so. And in terms of backlash from students,
why?
We live in an age when people are constantly using their devices, whether it be to reach their friends from other schools, to contact their parents, to use social media. So I think just the shock of not being able to do that anymore at times that are considered free times will result in a lot of backlash.
Breanna, how about you?
Well, honestly, I'm kind of have mixed feelings about the law because at the same time, the reason that we have a phone is because if there's an emergency, we need to be able to contact our parents, right? So having the phone, we need to contact our parents, and at the same time, it's not the same if the school does it, because the school, maybe there's a whole process, it's going to take long. Like if it's something urgent, it needs to be on the spot and fast.
Okay, I'm going to sound like an old fogey here. So, when I was in school, that's how the conversation starts, nobody had phones. And if there was an emergency, you went to the office, they called your parents, it was no big deal. I'm not sure why it would be a bigger deal now. What kind of emergency are you experiencing in a class that would absolutely have to call your parents within 1 minute, as opposed to just walking down the hall and having the school call them for you?
Well, not everything is like a physical emergency. Maybe somebody could be having a mental breakdown and all they need is just to talk to their mom, Not everything is just take a walk down the hall, because at the same time people have their own issues and sometimes the phone can help you with that.
Okay, are we talking about special needs kids here having a mental breakdown in class? Who are you referring to here? Just average students?
Actually, ever since COVID, I think that anxiety and all mental disorders and panic attacks and all that is pretty normal, because I have seen it. I saw somebody in my school having a panic attack today. It's honestly, sometimes the phone can be a tool to just pick up and call somebody that you trust.
But the issue here is the fact that this ban is to extend it through the whole day. So, Luca, you talked about during break time, can I have my phone? Breanna's describing a situation here where even in schools now, you can't have your phone, right? In class, Never mind break, you get it back at break time or whatever it happens to be, or recess or something. Is that really a big issue?
Sorry, I'm not entirely sure if I understand the question.
Breanna is saying we got to have these phones in our classes just in case someone's having whether it's a medical emergency or a mental breakdown or whatever. That's why it's important to keep them. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do in some cases agree with that, whether they be extraneous circumstances or they be circumstances in which, you, as Breanna said, you just need someone to call, someone that you can trust to help you out. I think it is a necessary tool for that.
Maybe I'm clued out here. How often is this happening in class where someone needs to call a parent because they're stressed out?
Well, we don't see it as often now, especially since the previous phone ban that we're not allowed to use them in classes. But I'm sure at points, even if you don't see the other student, if they've gone to the washroom, they might be calling their parent. We really don't know what some people are going through or what steps they need to be able to be okay again. And if those steps might involve calling a relative or just slipping away from class to do so.
Okay. I'm very taken aback by this. I had no idea the situation was this bad or prevalent. Listen, you're talking about the cell phone ban already being there. How have people taken to it so far? Forget about the rest of the day, but what's in place now?
I think, well, I can't speak for the entire student population, but my personal opinion, I've seen people are okay with the ban decently, especially since we have access to them at breaks. Students are understanding that we can't use them in classes while teachers enforce that rule.
Breanna, you too?
Well, I see a lot of people on their phone pretty often. So that's why I said I have mixed feelings about it, because while it is important to have it, because, emergencies and all that, people also take advantage of it, because I understand maybe some people use it for work. Like sometimes when I'm in class where nobody's talking, it's kind of boring. Maybe I just want to listen to music. But at the same time, some people take advantage of having their phone on them, and they could just be on random apps instead of actually learning. So I understand when people want to have the cell phone ban to have better grades, because at the same time it is improving like our studies and our education and all that. But there's multiple things to consider.
Did you say sometimes in class when it's boring, you'd rather listen to music?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
While I'm doing my work, I listen to music.
While you're doing your work where?
In class.
You're doing work in class, but listening to music while you're doing your work?
Yeah, I multitask.
Okay. Boy, school's changed a lot since I was in school. Okay. Listen, I want to thank you both. I'm not sure where this is going. I did want to ask you one last thing. I'm going to run out of time. What about this part where you heard the minister talking about, the need for respect, where you're calling, people, not your friends, but like teachers or other administrators, sir and madam, monsieur. You guys are okay with that?
I personally agree with that, since if teachers are on a first-name basis, sometimes students tend to take advantage of that. They speak disrespectfully towards their teachers. So if we had this rule where it was Mr. or Miss, like more respectful terms like that, I think it would help just improve the general atmosphere.
What is it now, by the way, when you're addressing a teacher? You call them by first names? Do they insist you call them by how does it work?
I think it varies school by school, but in our school, it's typically last names prefaced by Mr. or Miss.
Oh, so you're already doing that?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, thank you both. Breanna, thank you. Luca, thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. A couple of 16-year-olds in school in Sec 5 at Lester B. Pearson. Doing work in class, I'd prefer to listen to music. Okay.